welcome to my channel, Homemade Taste in a Tiny Space. Are you having a hard time finding eggs? Well, I got a recipe for you today, the no egg chocolate cake recipe. I went ahead and preheated my oven to 350 degrees, and now I'm gonna go over our ingredients for our easy chocolate cake today. I have 1.5 cups of flour, 1 cup of sugar, 1/4 cup of cocoa powder, and you'll want to use this Dutch processed unsweetened cocoa powder. Love it. It's great in this recipe. And then I have 1 teaspoon of baking soda, not baking powder. And then we have 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And then over here for our wet ingredients, we have 1 cup of water, 6 tablespoons of coconut oil. Now the recipe calls for 6 tablespoons of vegetable oil, but you know how I like to cook with coconut oil. So I have 6 tablespoons of coconut oil. And if you didn't have coconut oil, you could use olive oil too. I've also used olive oil in this recipe. And then here I have freshly squeezed 1 tablespoon of fresh lemon juice. And then here we have our 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And now the next step is we're going to sift our dry ingredients. And we'll go ahead and sift our dry ingredients. Looks good to me. And then I'm just going to go ahead and pour in the sugar, and then I'll mix that up. Grab my whisk down here. Whoops, I meant to grab my whisk. And we'll just kind of stir those around to incorporate them. And you know I have a tiny kitchen, so I'm just going to move all of our bowls off to the side so I can have some more room on my little counter space here. And now that we have our sifted ingredients together, I'm just going to move this bowl aside and grab another bowl so we can put our wet ingredients into. Here again, we have our 1 cup of water, our 1 tablespoon of fresh squeezed lemon juice. And if you didn't have lemon juice, you could also use 1 tablespoon of vinegar in this recipe also. I've also done that because I didn't have the lemon juice. And then of course my 6 tablespoons of coconut oil. And our 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. And we're just going to mix those around a little bit. And now we're going to take our wet ingredients and pour them into our dry ingredients. I'll try to make a little well here. And you want to mix it good till everything is thoroughly combined. I love this cake. It's so good. And it's so great because you don't need eggs. No eggs for this recipe. Eggs are getting hard to find, or there's a limit on them now. So this is just great if you don't have any eggs on hand. So you want to stir this about 30 seconds and look at how great and smooth that is. Looks yummy. We'll be right back. I'm just going to clean up here and then we'll pour it into our 9-inch round greased cake pan. Okay, we've got our cake batter ready, and I went ahead and pre-greased this 9-inch pan, and we're just going to pour our cake batter in there. All right, you know my tiny kitchen, sorry guys, and then I made a mess. But there you have it. Just gonna tap it down, get all the air bubbles out of there, if any. And then we're gonna bake this for 25 to 30 minutes or until you insert a toothpick and it comes out clean. So we'll go ahead and put it in the oven. Looks good to me. And now we're gonna take our toothpick and insert it to make sure that it's done. And it comes out clean, and it does. So now we're just gonna wait for our chocolate cake to cool, and we'll be making a frosting for this. Our cake is cooled down, and now it's time to make our frosting. I went ahead and pre-measured our ingredients that we'll be using. I have 1 cup of sifted powdered sugar. I have 1 tablespoon of our Dutch processed cocoa powder. Remember, it looks like this. Okay. And then we have 2 tablespoons of our softened butter. It has to be softened. I have a 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla. And then I have 3 teaspoons of milk. What I'm going to do now is kind of move these to the side because we'll want to get out another bowl and a spatula. And we're going to put our 1 cup of powdered sugar. And then we're going to put in our pre-sifted cocoa powder. Make sure we get all that goodness out of there. And just kind of mix that a little bit together. And then our 2 tablespoons of softened butter. And our 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla. And we're going to start it off on a low speed and gradually add in our milk to the consistency that you would like your frosting to. I went ahead and got this mat out because it was kind of loud banging against the table here. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is just gradually add in the milk. Looks like I'm gonna need all of it. And then we're gonna put it on high speed to really get it mixing. And I'm gonna stop it for a minute and just scrape down the sides of it. And now I'm gonna mix it again for another few seconds to get it all incorporated on high speed. And here it is. It looks good to me. I'm just going to scrape down the sides and get our cake ready, and we'll be right back. And here's our cake. This is what it looks like after being cooled off. I'm ready to go. And we're just going to go ahead and put our frosting on there. And I went ahead and got out my spatula, my frosting spatula, to make it easier. I usually don't take the cake out of this pan. I've never done that before. I would have liked to try to do that, but I didn't know if it would fall apart, so I didn't want to try that. Also, these make really great cupcakes. I've used this recipe to make cupcakes with, and the same recipe for the frosting for the cupcakes, and those are delicious also. And like I said, if you wanted to, you could add more milk if you wanted to have your frosting not so thick like this, but I like the frosting thick like this. And there you have it. Our beautiful, easy, delicious chocolate cake. We love this cake. It's so good. It's so moist, so delicious. And I hope you try it.